Regardless, I think that those are fantastic emotes. So once you're if you ever do some more, we can add them as well. So that's an open invitation for anybody, by the way. Okay, let's continue. Ah, My mind had become a gigantic oozing mess. My brain felt like it had been totally minced by the blades of a blender, and I couldn't think. Rena. Yeah. T-Rex Rena.
ほらほら、また黙り込む。もし誤解があるようなら先に解いておきたいんですがね。私は別にあなたが犯人だなんて思っちゃいないんです。
Oishi-san gave his best attempt at an adult smile. Oh, you know that kind of creepy smile? Yeah, that's the adult smile. I need an adult. I am an adult.
あの晩、あなたたち4人が西宮殿に忍び込んだことは知っています。次の日にはもう村の知る人は誰でも知る噂になってましたからね。それ自体は不法侵入として問われるべきことですが。
By the way, I completely forgot about this.
そこで何があったかなんです。忍び込んだ人間が次々と犠牲になるような何があったのか。
何もなかったです。
As soon as I said it, I regretted confirming my presence there, but I knew it didn't matter anymore.
本当に何もなかったんですか？だって現にこうして中に入った人たちが次々と犠牲になってるんですよ。しかも扉の鍵を付け替えた村長やリカさんまで犠牲に。それだけの事態を引き起こす何があの中にあったの？
You need Oishi. Yes, that is exactly who I need. Yeah, about that. I was far too tired of keeping quiet about this. Perhaps that was Oishi-san's goal all along. Again, that didn't matter anymore.
大昔に使った拷問道具がたくさんしまってありました。
Just a lot of torture devices. I mean, you know, the usual hanging balloons, just some lovely little tools there, and then some torture devices.
それを高野さんたちと見て回りました。
本当にそれだけ？
本当にそれだけです。
口封じをされるようなとんでもないものが隠してあったんじゃないですか
T-Rex Runa might be hard, but I could try. Oh my! Thank you, Kamusta. Thank you very much for that subscription. Thanks a bunch. Thanks. That's a one step closer to my goal. That's fantastic.
例えば覚醒剤の山とか。
Like a psychoactive drugs? Okay.
消しの秘密工場があったとか。あるいはソ連か中国あたりの拳銃が山ほど積まれていたと。
Okay. That escalated quite a bit.
不審な木箱やコンテナが山積みされてませんでしたか？
There was nothing as exaggerated as what Oishan was hoping for, but I felt like in a way there were plenty of terrible things hidden in there. As from the perspective of someone who viewed the storehouse as sacred, whether or not I had thought I had seen some crazy things didn't matter in the slightest. The four of us broke the taboo. Punish us. That should have been what happened.
あの西宮殿に何か秘密があるんじゃないかと思って捜査令状を請求したんですがね。
Oh, that's a lovely emote.
もう空前絶後の妨害工作がありまして、信仰の対象に対する侮辱であり、憲法で定めた信仰の自由をなんたらかんたら。いやもう、だから実際に入ったあなたに聞くほかはなかったんですよ。
本当に古い錆びて埃をかぶ
Oh,
った拷問
rusty
道具しか
dusty or
なかったで
torture
す。
equipment. That's like a children's tale. Old rusty dusty torture equipment. What will Billy do with the old rusty torture equipment?
他に目立つものなんて何もなかったです。
では、富武さんたちが殺されたのは禁忌を破ったからという制裁だけなんですかね。
I didn't have an answer for the only part.
もういちいち隠しませんけどね。あなただけが今日まで被害を免れてるんです。
Oh?
あなた以外は全員が消えたのに、
Oh!
あなただけが無事なんです。
Shion has disappeared.
あなたが無事で、あなた以外が被害に遭う。どんな違いがあったのか。それが知りたいんです。
There was something wrong with what Oishi-san was saying. You alone. You alone. What?
ちょっと待ってください。あなただけがってどういう意味ですか？
ですから、あなただけが最後の生き残りなんじゃないですか。
Oh my. Oh dear lord. Now we're gonna take this and we're gonna hug it out with this little lovely picture here for a while here. Ah. Yes, that's lovely. Okay, you can go back now.
西宮殿に忍び込んだコソ泥4人組の
The only one left alive? Hold on. Hold on, Shield was still...
あの晩に富武二郎さんと高野美代さんが死に、翌日園崎紫音さんが失踪しました。あなただけが無事に今日までを過ごしてるんです。なぜあなただけなのか。私はそれが知りたいと言ってるんです。
シオンが失踪したって？そんなバカな。
I unintentionally raised my voice, but I didn't care about that. Tomitake-san died, Takano-san died, and Shion disappeared? When did she disappear? What is this guy talking about?
ありゃ、とっくにご存知だったとばかり。
そんなのは初めて聞いた。シオンが失踪した？いつ？
遡ると渡流しの次の日に失踪していたことになります。
Going back a bit? Stop saying stuff I don't
園
understand.
崎紫音さんはその日の気分で親類の家を泊まり歩いたりしますので、所在不明が当たり前なんですよ。学校も気分一つでよく休みますしね。先生も困り果ててました。
そんなことは聞いてない。シオンはいつ失踪したかって聞いてるんだ。
Oh no.
ですから渡流しの次の日です。
The fluids in my body all reversed direction, so my poop was coming up the wrong end. I lost my sense of balance, and everything I could see started to warp and twist out of shape. I simply couldn't endure it. Hang on. Hang the fuck on. Shion had already disappeared, then that night, that phone call, who was that? She called me every night. She encouraged me. We vowed that we would do our best to live on and not be erased. Yep. That should have been, yes, that should have been phone call with Shion. Should have been a phone call with Shion. Should have been a phone call with Shion.
学校は平気で休むし、それを自宅に知らせても取り合ってもらえないから、学校もいちいち電話しない。そんなこんなで、彼女が失踪したことに気づくのに、だいぶ時間がかかったんですよ。
I felt a stabbing pain like needles were being pushed into every pore of my body. It started on my back and began spreading throughout the rest of me. When it had completely covered the surface of my skin, it began to worm its way inside my stomach as well.
ほら、覚えてませんか。Watanagashiの次の日に、私たち図書館でお会いしたでしょう。あの時、シオンさんもいましたよね。あれが最後の目撃なんです。あの後、彼女の所在は確認されてないんです。
Oh boy.
そんなバカな。そんなバカな。
That day, Oishan had only caught me, and Shion bounded away, lying that she needed to go to work. Didn't she call me that night?
エンジェルモートっていうファミレスのバイトですよね。あの日から無断欠勤です。今日に至るまで全てを無断欠勤しています。お店の人も連絡を取ろうにも取れず困りきってましたよ。
そんなバカな。そんなバカな。
状況証拠だけですよね。図書館でお別れしてからバイト先に向かうまで、この間に失踪したと考えるのが妥当でしょうね。
Right after Shion ran away without me.
ご存知なかったみたいですね。なら、先に話せばもっと話が早かったかな。もう、これでご理解いただけたでしょう。
Oh boy.
あとはあなただけなんです。
Oh
あ
boy.
なただけが西宮殿に忍び込んだ4人の生き残りなんです。
It couldn't be. It just couldn't be.
次に何か起こるとすれば、それはあなたなんです。前原さん、どうかご理解を。
Can't be. It can't be. It can't be. Shion had already disappeared? That couldn't be. It couldn't be. I talked to her the day before yesterday. I talked to her last night. She was going to call me again today. That was Shion on the phone. Shion on the phone. It was from Shion. From Shion.
シオンさんはとっくに失踪してるんです。次はあなたなんですよ。
Then who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights?
そんなバカな。
Isn't it obvious it was Mion on the phone? T-Rex Rena exists with all the facial expressions. Oh my. I lay down on the couch and stayed there dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. There was a note in my house saying that mom and dad would be home late and that I should have some ramen or something for dinner. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of the clock were already pointing at 10. Would I get another phone call like that today? Even though Shion had already disappeared? Would she still call me? Where were they calling from and who were they? The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. Even though I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I had been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi Maebara. Oishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot. Couldn't she have just gone to the relatives that Oishi-san didn't know about and could have been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think that she went to hide somewhere where she usually didn't in order to hide. That must have been why Oishi-san couldn't locate her, why he labeled her a disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Yeah, then my right hand moved on its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. Cold sting let me calm down a little.
都合よく考えすぎるなよ、前原圭一。
I knew I didn't want to admit she had disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was on the phone or not. But I asked her if she was actually Shion. That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do.
でも逃げるな、圭一。
If person on the other end... If the person on the other end still believed that I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say. And fend her off. I would tear the skin off the monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went in the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Till then, who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. It could have only been Shion. There was someone though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else could have? Why though? Why would Mion? I thought back to the things about the Sonosaki family that I had heard from Oishi-san and Shion. I'm checking one thing. Checking one thing. Of course it doesn't work. How unfortunate. Shion was always entangled in the incidents, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Courage, give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That though would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would use tricky words to try and trap me. Be careful, be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. At that point, it rang. The phone rang, and I didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she had been calling me like nothing happened. Now again, tonight. The people that had disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, then did that mean she was calling me from another world? That, of course, that couldn't be. The living being was calling me, pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet, as though she were alive and well. The phone continued its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick up if I didn't have to. I had just concluded though that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then what would I do if I answered it? Would I immediately declare that she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fooled and try to grab her by the tail?
それが一番安全かもしれないよな。
What I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when I realized I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? If I just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. I've made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time though. I'd scope her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomitake-san and Takano-san? What happened to the mayor? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? I reached out for the receiver, my arm trembling. There were too many things I wanted to know, too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start by picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi. Get up, Keiichi.
もしもし。
Oh, how relieved I would have been if it hadn't been a call from Shion.
ケイちゃんですか？私です。シオンです。
A momentary convenient and above all fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. Get ready for this.
電話なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでもご家族の方が電話を取りませんか？ひょっとしてケイちゃんの家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか？
I failed. I let her in on a fatal piece of information. That I was currently the only one at my house.
いや別に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより聞いたか？リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
ああ、見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
If Oishan hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed terror towards Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. This person on the other end of the receiver a more perfect as Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear.
リカちゃんとサトコはさらわれたんだよな。
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold. Their weight astonished me, and then a moment later I was overcome with numbness and felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion in turn had answered that there wasn't much doubt. That cruel meaning behind her words.
リカちゃんとサトコは、いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frankly caught myself. What if she had given that question a terrifying response in such a way it sounded like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayo.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
Well, that was lovely.
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、ヨンが済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
The world started to bend so much I almost lost my balance. The scenery in my eyes whirled around and around like the hands of a clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. I frantically put my hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly?
殺しちゃうってそんなにあっさり。
Oh, this is an interesting new music.
「人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ！」
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが、多分そうではないかと。
The mayor was killed. If the mayor was killed, then did that mean that the same happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? No, that couldn't. They weren't some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. They couldn't kill them so readily.
リカちゃまとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Lovely. Those were the words I want to hear the least, and I fought them back with my own scream, with a scream of my own. Even though I wouldn't change anything, wouldn't change anything. I still couldn't help but scream. This time the tears flowed. I've been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I've been trying to avoid considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was my fault. I killed them. I killed Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant I killed them. When Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in. Even my voice gave out, and yet still I cried. And cried.
どうか気を確かに。
Rika-chan and Satoko, they've been killed. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. That was to be my punishment. Then how brutal punishment it was. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal a punishment it was. I think Shion tried to comfort me, but I didn't hear any of it.
そんなことでどうするんですか？次に狙われるのは確実に私かケイちゃんなんですよ。お願いですから、しっかりしてください。お願いします。お願いしますから。
Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed them. I had no doubts that this person killed them. Why? Why?
どうしてだよ。どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was magma in the pit of my stomach, and it felt like it was going to erupt at any moment.
なあ、シオン、教えてくれ。どうしてこのひなみ沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。どうしてだよ。どうして。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth, and I couldn't stop them. These were not simple questions, this was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying.
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。 なのに毎年お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Both our ragged breaths could be heard over the phone.
いいですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。 奴らは狡猾でした。 辺りを都合よく利用して村の旧敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか、その一点にしか興味はないんだ。どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち上げですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで、どうしてなんだ。
A silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a
ケイ
while.
ちゃん、もういじめないでください。
A sob. Was Shion crying?
私だって何が何だかわからないんです。最後殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。
It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding.
あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。そして、すぐに気づいたんです。今度は、自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは、私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが、都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。
There was nothing fake about her words. She'd even understood how I felt.
だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。私はみんなが入ってはいけないという最後殿に面白半分な気持ちで踏み入ってしまいました。
Well, I hope that we can manage to get to the end of this chapter and then we'll save the game and change to something else while you're gone. So, I hope you'll have fun at work then.
いけないことだとは分かっていましたが、本当に面白半分な気持ち、ちょっとした探検気分のつもりだったんです。一緒に入った高野さんたちはその後すぐに殺されてしまいました。それもあんなむごい最後。あの日からいつ私も襲われるのではないかと怯えています。君吉のおじいちゃんしか助けてくれる人がいません。だからおじいちゃん、助けてって。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。
That has been now added to my channel as well. So I think it's fine. Does it take the restart to get it working? Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll deal with that.
そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら 鬼隠しになんかなるものかって。本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
Gion cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Okay. Every emote is manually approved. Holy crap. I'm dropping frames? Oh dear lord. Oh no. Dropping frames. That's bad. That's really bad. Again, I let my emotions take over and go off at her. It's still dropping more frames. This is unfortunate. I think everything's just overheat. Oh wow. My router is actually overheating like a whole crap ton. Okay. It isn't dropping frames anymore. Good. Go off at her. She was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade. Comrade. Thump. My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me, "Don't forget Gage Maibara. Don't forget about the mayor." On the morning after Watanagashi, she was told of Takano-san and Tomitake-san's death over the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. What kind of router? I'm actually using a laptop to share internet with me, so... Or not a laptop, but a tablet, so... But it was on top of my PC, so that's why it was overheating. He went to the hospital appointment, and he didn't tell his family. He'd only just made it in back time for the meeting. Well, that should have fixed it. Yeah. No more dropped frames. He went straight back to the assembly hall. Right to the assembly hall. That's what Oishi-san said.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
You're in audio only. Okay. I'd begun to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it. I wasn't saying it was contradictory though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me.
村長さんは重い痔を患ってて病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが何か？
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
There was a momentary silence. Then after stammering a few times, she replied.
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな？
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。でも、ケイちゃん、それが一体何の...
Shion didn't know what hospital the mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, then she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. If there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Hinamizawa. The train, however, had been delayed and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans.
担当直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ？どこで？いつ？
Oh dear
大雑
lord.
把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを...
Her sob pierced into my ears. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion.
ありえないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまでシオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。
そんな...
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう？帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。
I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it.
シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか？そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか？ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response.
実は会合にで...
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君はもっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
園崎シオンはWatanagashiの翌日に失踪したんだ。
The other end fell silent as the grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut, but I couldn't sense anyone there.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろ。
Shion's sobs were torturing me. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong.
頼むシオン。俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン頼むから。シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
If Shion ever did have a chance to meet with the mayor on that day, then that meant
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
Oh, that is terrifying. Beep, beep, went the dial tone. I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. Yeah, that's a lovely memory. Oh, yeah. Memories. We'll go through the tips and then we'll change the game for the time being. From the scrapbook. The problem with twins. This is not just limited to just Hinamizawa, but in Onigafuji village especially. The three families detested giving birth to twins as successors. The long-term dictatorship was built on the precarious balance of three families. Okay, you're off to work. See you. Yep. Or do you want to stay and watch the tips? I'm gonna go through tips still, just so. We'll see you during the breaks. The long-term dictatorship built on the precarious balance of the three families must have feared collapsing under the weight of the internal strife from things like family quarrels. According to the literature, if twins were born, they had to be cold. With that, the very fact that both Sonosaki family successor, Mion Sonosaki and her twin Shion are alive in itself is in itself deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader, Oryu, is sympathetic? Of course the twins were not cared for equally. and as the heir, Mion received special treatment. From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them don't leave me with that impression. A tradition dictates that the leader of Sonosaki family is said to inherit a demon, and they tattoo a magnificent one onto his or her back. In accordance with the tradition, there is an extremely high possibility that Miona has such a tattoo on her back. From what I've heard, there is apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oryu's back as well. Then I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir, Mion. I really want to see her back. Apologies for a second. Okay, reserved for today, Suju Mahjong Palo. Clatter clack.
あんりゃクラちゃん、あんたが一番遅いよ。若い人はみんな揃ってる。
じゃあお母さん、すみませんね。
Oishi handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the lady who owned the mahjong parlor. She shrewdly made herself scarce. She was used to this by now.
おいさん、お疲れ様っす。
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, now it's working. There we go.
なんだ、みんな真面目に待ってたんですか？さんまでもやってりゃよかったのに。
Everyone sitting at the mahjong tables in the small parlor were Oishi's subordinates, but there were no tiles laid out anywhere.
皆さん、連日の不眠不休の捜査、本当にお疲れ様です。
よし。
Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already it had lost the atmosphere of the place of entertainment.
状況は芳しくありません。所長が園崎系議員の恫喝に屈したそうです。近日中に高野殺しはお隣の県警さんに譲り、村長たちの失踪は行方不明扱いで生活課に委ねるようです。
That damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him.
請求した令状もすべて却下されました。課長からは園崎家界隈には近づくなとまで言われています。いやいや困ったもんです。ちなみに私には来週から警視庁への研修命令が出るそうです。その後は余った有給を伊豆で消化しろとまで言われています。いや、そういうのも悪くないですね。
Oh, Oishi, you lazy bum. He heard a few dry laughs. It wasn't anything to laugh about, but that was all they could do.
いつもそうですが、事件と車のキーの閉じ込めはよく似ています。開けるための鍵はいつもその中に閉じ込められているんです。車なら修理業者を呼んで扉をこじ開ける。事件なら熊ちゃん、図面を。
Kumagai flipped over the whiteboard. On the back was a map of the Zonosaki premises made with magnets.
私もずーっとこの商売をやってます。勘には自信があるつもりですがね。今回ばかりは外れるかもしれませんよ。退職金が欲しい方は私が10数える間に席を外してください。
Oishi began to count to 10, and everyone counted along with him. It was their famous stay count resolution.
10、10。ああ、誰も出てかないよ。皆さん、ご家族はもっと大切にしてくださいよ。
Everybody laughed uproariously, tearing things up.
各自手元の資料を確認。監視カメラの所在と視覚を叩き込んでください。熊ちゃんは指揮車で待機。非常時は私に代わって指揮をお願いしますよ。小宮山君は突入 A 班、淳君は突入 B 班を指揮。監視班は1から8まで所定の位置で監視を。ボンチ君はタイムテーブルを厳守。署に怪しまれないようローテを管理してください。さて、待機中の班が一番大仕事ですよ。課長に私の所在を聞かれたらとぼけてください。ゲストのエスコート役は私がやります。きっと会場へ連れて行きますので、皆さん気長に待っててください。
落ちるっすかね、前原圭一は。
私の見たところじゃ明日明後日にはいけそうですよ。もうコロッとね。
Okay. Detective Watanagashi. Okay. And now we shall change the game.